What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Guys, we have a really cool diecast in the studio. It is a 2006 Tony Stewart Winter Circle diecast. And if you're wondering why I'm holding this thing up, well, it is a damaged card back. This thing is roached. It won't stand up on its own, so we're going to just pretend the base is spinning. But anyways, we're going to be opening this one up. It is a very roached package. You don't believe me, I'll show even more of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop to this Home Depot Tony Stewart diecast. Alright, so as you can see, this packaging has seen much better days. And usually, it's not really a rule for the channel, but I try to not open up Winter Circle card backs, the cardboard ones. I try not to open them up unless they are overproduced. This is an overproduced car, and this packaging is very much roached. I mean, you can see there is, like, I'm going to zoom in here. Like, there was a retail tag on there at some point, and yeah, it is it's kind of gross. I don't know when that tag was on the packaging there, but there's plenty of dirt, probably some grease. Yeah, you can see the plastic just has just a really, I don't know, like, it looks very worn, like maybe a little bit of yellowing, a little bit of dirt buildup. This was probably stored in a garage or some sort of an outdoor kind of semi-outdoor area for a very long time. I got this thing used whenever I got it, so it's already, you know, seen better days. As you can see right here, there's a little bit of yellowing on the plastic. The actual card back itself, there's some bent corners, so that's why it doesn't stand up. I think the bottom, yeah, the bottom is all right with this one, but yeah, the bent corners, so that's a no-go for a lot of collectors. You know, it's like Pokemon cards. If the corners are bent, people go nuts. So same thing with Nascar diecast collectors. I love the trinket with it. It has the entire Nextel Cup schedule. We'll be taking a closer look at that. Go to the rear of it, and yeah, you can see the bent corners once again. And even this piece was bent. So I mean, when you have these kind of damaged car backs, I really don't mind opening them up, especially when it's an overproduced car. So there's plenty of them out there. I'm not worried about it. And we're going to go ahead and open up this Tony Stewart diecast and check it out. All right, fellas, outside of the diecast box, or the packaging, I should say, and check out this brand new, not very often we do brand new Gen 4 diecast, but this thing is brand new. I'm the first person to touch this diecast since 2006. Wow. What a fantastic looking paint scheme, man. Brand new. Shiny is all get. I mean, look at the clear coat. This thing came out of the factory probably late 2005, considering this was probably available before the Daytona 500. And what a fantastic looking car that was produced, what, 19, maybe 20 years ago. Crazy. The plastic on this thing is actually in very good shape for its age. Some of these 2006, 2007 Chevrolet Monte Carlos, the plastic is yellow. This one, I mean, it's pristine. Obviously, it's been sealed, but I don't see any yellowing either, so that's fantastic. Got the Home Depot right here on the hood. Very bright orange. Love it. Got the Chevrolet bow tie there. Monte Carlo. Got your contingencies there. Beautiful stuff. Got the number 20. Got the inverted color palette 20 there, the orange one. Man, I freaking love it. That's just, one of the most iconic paint schemes in NASCAR history. The beautiful Tony Stewart Home Depot Chevrolet. And the paint scheme is very simple. It's just orange with kind of a two-tone design. You know, the A, B, and C pillars with kind of a black decal with, is it white or silver? Separating the orange and the black. But just, it's so simple yet so amazing, honestly. And left side of the diecast, look at all the contingencies we have with this. It's just crazy. You got Doosan, Champion, Feel Pro? Not sure what that is. Safety Clean, Home Depot. Now, one thing that would be right here on the real car is they have a store number. So, like, each Home Depot store would have, like, a 4 or 5 digit number. You could look at any Tony Stewart photo of his race car. And wherever they're, I'm assuming whenever they went to a racetrack, so like Atlanta, Texas, Homestead, wherever it be, they would have the geographically close Home Depot store they would put on the race car, or they would just randomly put one on the car. It's kind of like, hey, a shout out to that store. So that was a really cool thing. Got Smoke right there. Old Spice, Coca-Cola, NASCAR race car, Nextel Cup Series, bootleg Pole Award decal, Commit, Mechanics Store, Gillette, Autometer, Mac Tools, Jessel, Holley, EA Sports, 3M, Checkers, MB&A, Rebastos, USG. Got Goodyear. Go to the back end of the diecast. Now, this is actually a brand new diecast mold when it came out in 2006, because from 2005 to 2003, they had the normal Monte Carlo mold, but in 2006, they changed it up for the 1/64 scale, which is actually really realistic, because the real Cup cars, they were changing drastically. By 2003 to 2005, the Cup cars started to get more and more skewed out. A lot more crazy, like they started to look a lot more like dirt late models, right? You know, when the front end is like flat as a board, they were really skewing them out. And in 2006 and 2007, they just said, we're going to go bananas with it. And they just kept pushing it and pushing it further and further, the limits of the body of the cars. So that was always fascinating. Home Depot right there, just that beautiful gloss texture to it. Number 20, got the black bow tie. We don't really see that too much. Usually it's like a white bow tie, but that's actually pretty cool. Go to the right side of the diecast, and just a fabulous race car. You gotta be thinking, why did you open this car up? You should have kept it in there. Guys, this is an overproduced car for one, so there's plenty of them out there still. And the packaging is roached. I mean, look at that. Ugh. This thing is, I mean, look at the texture, the color of it. I mean, this packaging has seen much better days. My advice for people is, obviously, you can do whatever you want. But if you're going to open up a car, I would highly recommend opening up the yellowed or damaged card backs, right? And because, like, if you have two card backs of the same diecast, one is, like, practically mint, and then one has been thrown around the room and stored in a woodshed for 15 years, I would probably open up the one that's been thrown around the room and stored in a woodshed for 15 years rather than the one that has no bent corners or no scrapage or anything. So one thing that I'm noticing on this car, and this is so unfortunate, but this is the reality of life, is that the top of the car here, you can see those lines. I believe that's actually decal cracking, which that is a very unfortunate thing, but it's a reality, is especially the brightly colored cars or the bright orange paint schemes, for whatever reason, those just they age a little bit faster than your standard paint schemes. This is actually something that's happening currently on the 2002 Robbie Gordon singular wireless cars, the 1/24 scale at least. The orange on it has been cracking. Right? You can look up 1/24s on them; they're all starting to age, so that's really unfortunate. This is the first time I think maybe ever I have ever seen the number decal is starting to have some cracks in it, because you can see the lines there. I believe that's actually cracking. I could be tripping on that. That might just be one factory error, which I'm hoping it is. Please, I hope it is. But if that's already, you know, starting to age like that's gonna break my heart a little bit as a diecast lover. But I'm hoping that's just a decal oopsie-doo, because you can see a little bit of a wrinkle right here. So maybe that's what it is, that it's actually not cracked. I'm not sure, but there's definitely some sort of texture there. So I'm just going to hope that's the case. Something tells me it's probably not, because you could even see a little bit of it on the O on the 20. There's a little bit of some lines there. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a factory error, maybe not. Go to the back deck lid of this car. I got the Home Depot, just absolutely beautiful looking stock car. Now, I said that the plastic wasn't yellowed on it. I didn't realize this little back panel is actually a little bit yellowed there. It's a separate form of plastic or something. Like this little, I don't know what you would call this. The back speakers would be in a production car. This panel yellows. I don't know why. It's a different form of plastic, but yeah, overall, fantastic condition for the car. I'm really curious if if that roof number deal is a factory error or it's actually starting to yellow, or not yellow, crack is what I meant to say. I'm tripping, guys. I'm on a lot of coffee right now. But anyways, I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not already aging that fast. The only way to tell is to actually grab another Tony Stewart, a couple of them, the other Tony Stewart diecasts from 2006, and compare them. And if they all are having similar things, then it's just aging. If it's only this one, perhaps it was stored badly. I mean, like I said, the packaging is pretty warped. So if this one was stored in a very hot climate for, let's just say, a couple years, right? It could have been in someone's garage, someone's work shed, whatever it be. What happens is that when die casts, or really anything, honestly, when they're exposed to really high temperatures, and then they're exposed to really low temperatures, that kind of difference in temperatures can make things artificially age. So room temperature is always the best to keep pretty much anything from aging in terms of the structural integrity. So over to the 2006 Nextel Cup schedule. This is back at a time where they would put plastic hoods in pretty much all of their Winter Circle diecasts. And if they didn't have this, they would have some other cool trinket to go with it. But look at this. That's actual magnets. That is so cool. So you could put this on a refrigerator. You could put it on a metal sign, whatever you have, and display it very nicely. So we got 2006 Nextel Cup schedule, as mentioned. Look at the schedule that we had back in 2006. I mean, 2 races at Texas Motor Speedway, Homestead finale. They had 2 races at Dover, Loudon, Richmond. Only 1 race at Kansas. Only 1 race at Las Vegas. That is fascinating. And 2 races at Fontana. Yes, back in the 2000s, they would go to Fontana in September and in the springtime. Crazy, I know. But 2 races at Pocono. Just 2 races at Michigan. I mean, it's just crazy how different the schedule is. And I want to ask you, what schedule would you prefer, the 2025 schedule or the 2006 Nextel Cup schedule? I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer probably the 2006 one. And the reason why is the next-gen car, you know, here in 2025, it races fantastic at 1.5 miles. 2 Texas races, 2 Charlotte Oval races, 2 Dover races, 2 Michigan, 2 Pocono, 2 Fontana. You see what I'm saying? In Chicagoland's on there. There's a ton of high-speed ovals that race fantastic with the next-gen car. But there are some things let's just be honest, the next-gen car would struggle at. Having 2 races at Richmond, 2 races at Loudon. You know, it's just not really, that car is not built for short track flat racing. It just doesn't work really good at that. It needs to be fast, high banking racetracks to have the best form of racing. But that's a really interesting comparison. 2006 or 2025, which schedule would you prefer? That is all for now. Thank you all for watching the Diecast review. Have a blessed one. Diecastbuffet signing off.